Okay, UFC 300 is finally here. There is a just extravaganza of content out there leading into UFC 300. Let us continue on with what might be the biggest fight on UFC 300. And I'm serious this time. This probably is the biggest fight on UFC 300. I'm talking Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. This is almost the main event of UFC 300, isn't it? This is the one that we are all looking forward to, except if you've been jumping onto my live streams, you know that I've been very, very vocal about how much I hate this fight. And I do hate this fight, right? That's not to say that I'm not going to enjoy this fight while it's happening to my face. While these two men are in the cage in their underwear, beating the living piss out of each other, I am going to be enjoying this fight, right? I'm going to be sitting there consuming this like, this is good. This is fucking amazing. This is the best fight I've ever seen. That's going to happen. That is 100% going to happen. But everything leading up to this fight, I hate it. The fact that this fight exists, I hate it. I don't want this fight to exist at all. And I'll tell you why. I will tell you why, dear viewer. Number one, Dustin Poirier is now getting a title shot. Now, I'm a big Dustin Poirier fan, right? Dustin Poirier is a great fighter. He's been in the UFC since before we were born. He's been in the UFC since before the bloody UFC existed. Dustin Poirier is a phenomenal fighter. But Justin Gaethje just knocked out Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier is getting the next shot at the title because this fight exists. Because of the way that the calendar worked out, right? And the calendar happens to be the fact that the UFC were scrambling for something to do on an event that they knew was coming. Like, it's not like UFC 300 was a surprise to anybody. They knew this event was coming and they had to have somebody on it, so they booked this fight. And now Dustin Poirier looks like he's going to be getting the next shot at Islam Makhachev and not Gaethje, which kind of annoys me. Then there's the other fighter in this fight, which is Max Holloway, right? For years, we have been talking about how Max Holloway is the younger fighter than Alexander Volkanovski. That soon Volkanovski is going to fall off and all Max Holloway has to do is outlive him in the division. And Max was doing a great job of that right up until he booked this fight. Now, Max has said you've got to jump on fights while they're there. The fight game passes you by. And, you know, there is no reason to think that just because he loses this one, he can't be next for Ilia Topuria. But what it does look like is going to happen is that Alexander Volkanovski is going to get that rematch against Ilia Topuria next, which means I have to watch one of my favorite fighters get their bloody head kicked in again, which just sucks. But also, this fight is going to happen before Max Holloway goes to fight the extremely dangerous Ilia Topuria, which brings us into the actual kicks and the punches of Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. Let's start breaking it down. And might as well start off with the kicks and the punches. Let's start off with the kicks. Justin Gaethje has phenomenal leg kicks. We all know this. We've all seen this. Justin Gaethje's leg kicks are just, and they're devastating as well. Now, go and look at Max Holloway's fights against Alexander Volkanovski, particularly the second and the third one. Those leg kicks get through. In fact, Max Holloway is sort of known for the leg kicks getting through. He's very, very good with the hands, but he does lead with that lead leg very strongly, and it is there to get kicked, and it often does. It gets kicked from the lighter guys. Now at lightweight, it is going to be Justin Gaethje slamming the legs into him, slamming the kicks in. Picture the ferocity of Alexander Volkanovski slamming his leg kicks into Max Holloway, except now it's Justin Gaethje doing that, right? So Justin Gaethje is going to be chewing up the legs of Max Holloway. And then it comes to the striking. You know, that's what's happening on the foot battle. Justin Gaethje knows that he needs to win the foot battle in almost every single fight that he's in. Let's just keep talking about the leg kicks for a bit. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev, right? Fiziev is a Muay Thai fighter. Half of their fight is the leg kick battle. In fact, I would say, you know, maybe 70% of a Muay Thai fight is the leg kick battle. Justin Gaethje won the leg kick battle with Fiziev, who has a background in Muay Thai. Justin Gaethje's leg kicks are so good, and Max Holloway's legs are so not good. They're skinny little legs, mate. They're going to get chopped up by Gaethje. Anyway, then you're going to go to the striking, right? And this is the part that really upsets me, and it also circles back to what was upsetting me when I started the video. The fact that this fight exists. When it comes to the striking exchanges, you're going to have Max Holloway, who was there to get hit by Calvin Kattar, all right? We've all been watching like fights going into UFC 300. I'm sure that getting ready for your Calvin Kattar fight, you went back and watched Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. Now, Max Holloway, did he beat the piss out of Calvin Kattar? Yes. But was he getting touched by Calvin Kattar? Yes. Max Holloway got the piss beaten out of him by Alexander Volkanovski with the hands, because the leg kicks opened up the hands, right? Max Holloway, did the Korean Zombie touch him up? Yes. Did he beat the piss out of Arnold Allen? Yes. But did Arnold Allen touch him up? Yes. Justin Gaethje is going to touch up Max Holloway. And when Justin Gaethje touches up Max Holloway, it is going to fucking hurt him. It is going to start to bleed him, cut him up. Max Holloway gets damaged on. There is scar tissue there from that Volkanovski fight that is going to start to open up. As well as, this is going to be a 25-minute affair, which means Max can look good and not crumble under the leg kicks for the first 2 rounds, the first 10 minutes. But those last 3 rounds, when all that pain really starts to pile up, I do believe you are going to start seeing Justin Gaethje start to do heavy accumulative damage onto Max Holloway. And that's not to say that Max Holloway isn't going to have these moments. He's not going to strike back. Justin Gaethje isn't going to respect it. Respect that it's a BMF fight. Respect the fact that he's on UFC 300. All of that is going to be there. They are going to be hurting each other. But at the end of the day, the one who's going to be getting that accumulative, heavy, long-term, sustained damage put on them is going to be Max Holloway. Justin Gaethje is going to win this fight. And then it comes down to the implications of that victory. You are going to have Islam Makhachev fighting again in July and then wanting to fight again at Abu Dhabi, which means he is going to take on Dustin Poirier, and then he is going to take on his biggest challenge, Justin Gaethje, after Justin Gaethje has to go through a war. They might even look for a quick turnaround for Justin Gaethje to go in against Islam Makhachev. Who knows the way the cards are going to fall. But the thing is, Justin Gaethje is not going to come out of this fight clean. He's going to come out of this fight hurt, and Islam Makhachev is going to be calling for his next contender. Now, also on UFC 300, there is going to be Oliveira versus Sarukian. So we have to see, out of Oliveira versus Sarukian and Holloway versus Gaethje, who wins more impressively, who has the least amount of damage for who is going to be next to Islam Makhachev. But just when I look at Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, I feel like I'm looking at Goku and Vegeta, 2 rivals that are on the exact same path, 2 boys in the game. And I want them to both get the best shot they can at the title. Gaethje should have gone first, but if Gaethje has to go second, I do not want Gaethje going against Islam Makhachev after sitting down and having a massive war against Max Holloway. When it comes to what's next for Max Holloway, win or lose this fight, they are going to offer him Ilia Topuria after Alexander Volkanovski gets his bloody head kicked in again, right? I do not want Max Holloway going up against Ilia Topuria, another year older, with another heavy war under his belt, a Tony Ferguson-esque beating under his belt, going in there against El Matador, Ilia Topuria. And Max Holloway needs to be 100% for this threat, because Ilia's hands are bombshells, absolute bombshells. And again, breaking down this fight, what are we talking about the most? Max Holloway is a great striker, but he does get touched up, which means Ilia Topuria is going to touch him up as well. And he is going to be hitting him with bombs after he has been destroyed by Justin Gaethje in yet another war. I hate, loathe, despise, do not want to see this fight go down at UFC 300. I hate this fight. I hate it for so many reasons. But this fight is going to happen, and I am going to enjoy it while it is happening. And I do think that Justin Gaethje is going to be getting the win at UFC 300 over Max Holloway. That's my prediction for this fight. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, leave a like. What do you think is going to happen in this fight? Do you think Max Holloway has a chance? I see the tide is starting to turn out there. Are you one of the people on that train? If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And of course, I'll see you all in the next one.